Yes, with Jimi Disu, which is the last for the week. And today would just be like some kind of continuation of what we discussed yesterday. For those who missed the show at 7:30, I suppose in reaction to our program yesterday and many other programs that have been highlighting the issues of traffic robbery, the police had a briefing yesterday. We weren't informed about it, but there was a release issued by the PRO of the command. We didn't get a copy either. But let me put some things in perspective to be fair, so that we can have a kind of balance, to be fair, because apparently there were some things we didn't get quite right yesterday. One of the issues that cropped up is the issue of this idea of escorts, with every other VIP in sight having 3, 4, 5 escorts, whilst the rest of us are bound to the Philistines. It was later brought to my knowledge that the CP Odumosu is not directly involved. I'm using my words carefully. He's not directly involved in this exercise. If he could influence it, I'm sure he could, but he's not directly involved. Neither is the governor, to be fair to him. Is not directly involved in this exercise, but he can also influence. In the light of the information that we got, then we'd like to appeal to the governor on behalf of the people of the state to make a presentation to the Inspector General to say to him the kind of message that our people are receiving could create security problems for us in this regard. And to say that he should withdraw all, in capital letters, all what we would call unauthorized use of escorts in the state. The governor can do that. He can do that and let us know that he has done that. He should also tell his party associates, because most of these people that are creating this bad image, most of them are humming around the governor. They are either his political associates, some of them are probably his friends, and so on, and some of them are his ogas, and say to them that, look, it's time, you see, because in fighting crime, it's not just a shoot-aside order for the police. No. It's all-encompassing, and a lot of it has to do with perception. For example, when we talk about police presence, it will ward off the average. Only the hardened ones will be able to say that, look, police or no police, I'm going to make an attempt. And I think those, at least if anything, it will bring the numbers down. And therefore, we want to appeal to the governor and appeal to the CP to say up, to the IG to withdraw. Most of these escort things are illegal. It's part of the bad behavior of our elite. We have this attitude of always wanting to show off. Excuse me. I'm only human. I had to sneeze. We have this idea of trying to show that we are above the law. It's a new thing, especially from the new "if only mama could see me now" rich boys that we have, rich boys and rich mamas, who believe that showing that they're above the law is the hippest thing to do. It is not. Our people are going to resist it. I can assure you of that. I can assure you about if you haven't heard the discussions, we will tell you. People are humming and saying in quiet tones, and they're expressing their displeasure. One thing about Nigerians is you never really know what's going on in their mind. Like the NSAS caught everybody by surprise. We do not want a repeat of that exercise. We do not want a repeat of that exercise. Talking about the governor and his friends, we hear that the group of people, hangers-on, who would claim to be friends of the governor. Mr. Sanwo-Olu, you have no friends. I said that yesterday, I repeat it. If Jimmy Agbaje was sitting in the seat you are, the same set of people that say that you are your friends will come and say that you are your friends. I understand they are the ones who did that nasty campaign at your anniversary, which was then alluded to you. It was on thorough investigation that we discovered that you were not responsible for those bedsheet-like thingies that were supposed to be banners that created environmental problems all over the state. Though I would have thought that immediately, even if you couldn't curtail them, you would have instructed, because they flouted environmental laws, that it be put down. but you left it hanging on, especially the one at Costain, until some mad people and some started taking some of these things one by one. These things were done to please you, sir. But I can tell you, I don't think... I heard from one of your people that said, even some of the transporters were happy. There are a lot of... most people near you are sycophants. They will say this and then say something else. The only thing, sir, that is going to endear you to our people, I can assure you, is to go through the Fashola style. Where he didn't bother himself trying to publicize what he did. His work spoke for him. And at the time when it was needed, the people were able to rise up and say, no, this is our anointed son. And that's why long after he's been governor, we still talk about him till today. And I can assure you, the way things are going, even my grandchildren know who Fashola is. You want to put me to test for anymore? I'll call them now. I say, who is the best governor? my grandchildren. 6 and 4. Well, that's the way it goes. So talking seriously now, we try and make these things a little bit light so that we can, in between talking some serious talk, we can still enjoy ourselves. So back to where I was before I stray. So to clear the air on that, we said the CP is not directly involved in the exercise, neither is the governor, but they're in a position, especially the governor, is in this idea that I don't control this and I don't control that. You tell that to the Marines. You are there to represent us. You should think of us first. And please, like I said again, you don't have friends. Friends who can give you advice, friends who hardly pass CUSAT and are giving you advice even on medical issues. You should be suspicious of them. And like I said, if it was Jimi Agbaje from the PDP who was sitting down in that, if I was the one, they'd say that they have new friends. As Fashola, he'll tell you he really didn't have friends when he was governor. He just did his job. He was clear-minded. That is what we expect from you. Even the organs that were responsible for putting you in that seat, there is a limit to which you should let them push you. I can understand the pressure you are going through, but it should have a limit. You should let everybody know that my name is at stake. It's very important. My name is at stake. I'm sorry, sir. I can't do this. Ask your predecessors, he will tell you. The worst that will happen is you won't get a second term. So what? It's already in the history of the state that you've been a governor. You're even lucky. My friend Femi Pedro was a deputy governor. He never became governor. You know, there was one who was a governor, I think, for 2 days or so, a deputy governor for 2-3 days. It's already there on history that you're a governor. You've been a governor for 2-3 years. If these people will not let you leave and start waving the whatever at you to say that you won't go for a second time, so be it. It's not the end of the world. You never wanted to be governor in the first place, from what we hear. You even wanted to be chief of staff. So if God has been kind to you, if the Lord has been magnanimous to you, and as I said, you can be governor, call their bluff. We need somebody to represent us, for God's sake. We need somebody. It's as if we have a monarchy in this state. And we a lot of us who are Lagosians are going to fight that. But I mean, there's a limit to it. There is a limit to it. A lot of us will fight it. We can't have two monarchies. We only have one monarchy, and that's one in Isaleko and other obas around Oniru, Kabiesi, and all that. Those are the ones. But don't let me drift. Don't let me drift. As of yesterday, also, we complained that there was no police presence on the bridge. I can now tell you, because I'm very fair in the things that I say. And Mr. Dumoso, I hope you realize that these things are not personal. We're trying to help you to in policing this state. I can now say categorically that Jimi Disu, I saw police patrol on the Eco Bridge yesterday in the afternoon. But my people in here, I got 3 or 4 reports that there were still robberies on Third Mainland yesterday. Also, I got reports from somebody who said, yes, somebody was being robbed, but in the midst of that, some people were being robbed. About 20 policemen flooded the scene. That is yesterday. I'd like to tell the police PRO that he needs to reach out to us so that we can work out these things together. We can't do his job for him. His job is not to sit in that office. His job is to reach out to stakeholders who can help him do the job. But the problem with most appointed PROs is that they see you as an enemy. Oh, he's fighting Oga. That's not the way it is. Nobody is fighting your guy here. You need to. And what do we mean reach out? We don't want anything from you but information. That's all we need. We're not asking you for any favors. We're not asking you for anything. But you need to reach out to us, give us information that will help us do this job. Policing is not a police job alone. It's not a police job alone. This is a job that all of us need to get involved. We know the plight of our policemen. We can't run away from it. Our policemen are not being well treated. They're not being well treated, so you shouldn't expect any magic. Look, I had some retired military personnel who came. I'm bringing them next week so that they can tell us their plight, who have not been paid. The same applies to police. I saw a video that went viral where a policeman was claiming that if his contributory pension he couldn't get, the one the police is supposed to contribute he couldn't get, the one he himself contributed he couldn't get, he was running from pillar to post. I don't know what kind of facilities we have for good policing. But with the little that we have, I think it behoves on us citizens, rather than being angry with the police, I think it's much, much better if we acknowledge what they're doing and we try to assist them as much as possible, especially with welfare issues. I mean, you go to the police barracks, the kind of things that you see, terrible looking situation that you have there. Okay, so that's my reaction. That's my reaction to that. But Mr. Dumosu said yesterday that 127 suspected traffic robbers were arrested at various locations within the state from March 2021 till date. Okay, it says 127 from March 2021 till date. And it says that the command has been fighting robbery in traffic relentlessly, even before the recent donation of crime-fighting equipment and communication gadgets to the command. I saw one article in one of the papers today, and it's talking about how other governors should emulate the strategy of Mr. Sanwo-Olu. Of course, we know where that kind of article is coming from. He hasn't done well in that area. It's not donating equipment that is the result. The hood doesn't make the monk. You can have all the equipment in the world. If people are still being robbed in a brazen manner, then it's the result that we are interested in. That is very, very important. It's the result. But the story here says that there was a recent donation of crime-fighting equipment and communication gadgets to the command by the state government. Fine, you've handed over this to them. The commissioner who addressed some officers at the command's headquarters reassured residents of the state that robbery in traffic will soon fizzle out. And it says that the fight against the menace will be intensified with the new equipment from the Lagos state government. It's not equipment that is the issue. It is strategy and determination and the morale of the men. Fighting crime is not complete rocket science. Fighting crime on the roads is not complete rocket science. It's the resolve of your men to do the job. And to make sure that the things that divert their attention. I tell you this, if I were a policeman today, I'd rather be an escort than fight robbers it's a given. Look at the average escort, well equipped, well starched uniform. You can almost use the razor of the gators to shave your face in the morning. Well starched, they look well fed. You can even see from the way they are bouncing and jumping, they're well motivated. Of course, they're giving extra cash. Of course, they know that if something happens to them, Oga at the top will make sure that they go to the best hospital in town. So therefore, what do you have? The morale of the average policeman on the street is very low. His mate is an escort. And this escort racket that we have, you don't know how bad it is. Let me describe it to you. You have one Oga Kwata Kwata. On him, with him at any time T, he has 4. In house A, he has 4. In fact, in house A, he has 3 vehicles parked permanently in front of his house, and then he has maybe close to about 10 hidden all over the place. Let's just give him 10. Then for Madame, she probably have 5. For Mama Kekere, she probably has another 5. For the incoming, he probably has another 5. One family, you have close to 30 policemen. So why do you think anybody would want to sleep on the co-bridge when his mates, they were classmates is out there being escorted. Unless we face these fundamental issues, you cannot have a functional police force. The mind of the average policeman, and you can't blame him. We have recent incidents now of people going to police stations, reporting at police stations, and they've been told either they'll tell them there are no bullets in the guns, or they'll give an excuse, they don't have vehicles, they don't have this, they don't have that. So, sir, it's not just about buying equipment. It is the strategy, the morale, and the will. How can you function with a Tanfeku police force? You know what Tanfeku is? Okay, for my brothers who are not Yoruba, Tanfeku is who won't die. How can you function well with the who won't die police force? These are the things that we need to tackle. It's not just about buying vehicles and buying this and that. In any case, the vehicles are usually hijacked anyway. Chief will have 2 parked in his house. Alhaji this will have 3 parked in his house. Pastor, the pastor's one is the part I can't understand. I thought you were men of God now. You have the law's protection. The average pastor in Lagos here now has close to about 4 attached to him. At this rate, I think I need at this rate, I think I'll need police protection at this rate. Okay, but before I do police protection, let me pay my own bill, Ojari, so that I can be sure that my money comes in regularly. That is very important. We are going to take a break. When we come back, 0700 993 993 is the number to call. The other one is 01485 7190. We will be taking calls from you. Now, when you do call, let's observe the rules of calling. Very clear. 1, put off your radio. You can't speak and hear yourself. 2, call from a quiet place. No call on top Okada. Don't call from any obscure place. And then 3, let us just mind our language. We'll take a short break and then we'll be right back.
On 99.3 Nigeria Info, your mic is always
You've
on.
waited so long,
Let's talk.
and now the doors are wide open for you to join MTN, the yellow family that's got the coverage and reliable data network in Nigeria. Just walk into select MTN stores nationwide, buy a new MTN SIM, and turn it up with mouth-watering airtime and data bonuses on the yellow network. So hurry up and get your SIM today. Visit mtnonline.com/SIM to locate the closest SIM sales stores near you.
Everywhere you go, MTN.
You know that feeling when you keep downloading and streaming interesting videos, but your mind keeps whispering, continue, your pockets go here. But not anymore. When you subscribe to MTN's affordable and reliable monthly data bundles, you will enjoy 10 gigabyte with just 3,000 naira and 20 gigabyte for 5,000 naira only. Plus, a whopping 4 gigabyte free to stream YouTube videos on your reliable data network. Simply dial *131# to select and turn up your affordable data plan on MTN. Terms and conditions apply.
Everywhere you go, MTN.
Welcome back.
Welcome back.
This is Daily Digest with Jimi Disu.
Yeah, you're welcome back. And sorry, I took the whole lot of 25 minutes. If you leave me to my own devices, I could talk from now to 6 p.m. Okay, so I'll take my first caller now. Hello, good morning. Hello.
Good morning.
Morning, sir. Who's calling?
My God.
Okay, let's take another call. Hello, good morning.
Hello, Uncle Jimmy.
Good morning,
Good
sir.
morning.
Who's calling?
David calling from Ikorodu.
Please, when you call, please try and call from, like I said, the quiet background. Don't come for a toilet or a kitchen that has tiles all the way up, because what you have it bouncing off the walls. And please, Don't use speakerphone. Okay? Don't try and put the phone to your ear and talk so we can hear you loud and clear. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Morning. Who's calling?
I'm Sunday calling from Lagos here.
Yes, sir.
Yes, I want to talk about the robbery on our roads here in Lagos.
Yes.
Yes, if we must fight robbery on our roads,
Yes.
how come do we have young people live more or less under the bridges? For example, Adeniji,
Yes.
Obalende,
Yes.
you dare not stop there. Pass that road 4:30, 5 a.m. You will see people bathing, like taking their baths on the roadside. Again, you are a police, whether escort or whatever you call it. You will see somebody by 6 a.m. sitting on that bridge, sitting, possibly brushing or using this chewing stick. Then you blow your siren, you cannot stop and ask, what are you doing here? What are you doing here on the road? You know, there are things you cannot talk. I've had experience where somebody that's supposed to fight the crime called the person by name. I've warned you, whenever people are with us, don't complain. Say, no, but we are not to attack them. At least let them settle us. You know these people, you know them by name. How do you fight crime on our road when those guys are living under the bridge? They are not far now. Uncle, just use one car, put two ladies in the front, tinted back, put some armed guys behind the boot. Two ladies, stop like you have problem. You have problem around Adeniji and this thing. Let one of them stop, open bonnet. In the next 20 seconds, you will see more than 10. More than 10 will surround you.
Okay.
10 will surround you. I'm telling you. And as they are coming, they are looking at your bag, they are looking at phone and other things. They are not fun, and this one don't need any strategy.
It doesn't. I agree with you. Thank you, sir. Well, this last caller made an excellent point. In fact, I thank him a lot because it didn't occur to me that our under bridges are fully occupied and they are dark. So the solution is, like they do in other countries, you just build all those areas, you build them up and you light them up properly, and you enforce, the no loitering, any no loitering law you put in place in such neighborhoods. That is easy for the governor to do in a second. Call your commissioner for works, call your commissioner for police, and I want all the under bridges cleared completely. I want them well lit, and I want them fenced off. I thank him for that call and for that observation. That is all that we need to do. That's not what we need to do. Don't let me say that. But that is one of the very few things we need to do very quickly. Because for as long as people of doubtful character are domiciled near our roads and under the bridge, that is what you are going to get. But I had warned somebody about this when he was governor, how you need to decongest Lagos by policy. But that's why we are paying dearly now for people not listening to this little advice that we have. But I thank the last caller for his observation. Fantastic observation. In fact, with that alone, you can probably let off 50%. Because if you have these boys sleeping under bridges, okay, no Okada to drive and whatever, and they are there for one reason and one reason only, to commit crime. Okay? The Lagos State government at one time was able to enforce the law about sleeping in markets. I think they can also do that for under the bridges. Build them up, light them up, and ban anybody and put patrols there. Okay, I'll take another call. Morning, madam. Ekujimeni. Hello, good morning. Solomon, will you stop it? But I will report you to Babao. Baba je. Morning, Solomon. How are you?
Jimmy, good morning.
Morning.
The last caller.
Yes.
I will slightly disagree with him.
Okay.
I'm using my area here as an example.
Which is your area?
Beggar.
Okay, yes. Okay, Beggar.
We are very close to.
Yes.
Now, There was a time they do this iron demarcation at Begadier.
Yes.
Uncle Jimmy, come to that place now. Is it government that destroyed those things? It is the same masses that are complaining about insecurity in Lagos that destroyed. Look, security is for every one of us.
Exactly.
Let me use my own, the one where they ma to one Zombie by. We saw some of these boys gathering themselves together, smoking in their arm and all that. And we called the attention of the landlord to it. Do you know what the landlord told us?
Yes.
And you call me, calling me. So you should leave them alone. And this particular landlord has a very tight relationship with police. So, for me, like what you said yesterday, Uncle Jimmy, ẹni tí ò bá ti ní bàbá lọ́run, ó lọ bá bàbá ẹ̀ tó wà nílé, fún kurube. Thank you.
So, as far as Solomon is concerned, kurube is the answer. Well, I don't know about that too. I don't know about but what we're joking about is important for the government to note. Do not allow people resolve to self-help in security matters. I'm sure you know the consequence. It will consume all of us. The governor needs to note that it will consume all of us. Okay? I'll take another caller. Hello?
Hello, good morning.
Morning.
Yeah, I'm calling from Aja.
Yes.
Concerning what that guy talked before is these police people actually...
Please speak up, sir.
I mean, these police people actually, they know all these hoodlums.
Yes.
Yes, they are aware of them. They know their whereabouts. They just pretend as if they don't know. Because every time along that road, these moral people, they normally obtain our staff. I pray I should not fall victim one day. But if I fall victim, I will go extra mile to protect myself, and I will do something to it. Thank you.
No, don't. Whatever you do, just don't harm your fellow human being, because there's a consequence for that. I'll take one more call, then we'll move on to some other stories that I have in the papers here. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Morning, sir.
Yeah, my name is Jimi.
Yes.
Yeah, am I on to Jimi Disu?
Yes, just go on.
All right, okay. Straight to the point. Talking about how we can improve our policing in this country. You have said it well about the problem the police have. But suggesting the solution, I don't think the country is ready for the solution. Two things I want to put down.
Yes.
There's no way the kind of policing structure we are running, where a man is IG at Abuja, controlling all the 36 states, there's no way it will work. And now, let's go to a country where policing is work. Is that how they are running it? Let's look, when we are putting down the solution, let's have government authority look at what it will work. Buy all the equipment they are using in US, give it to the police here. We'll still be on the same thing, and we'll continue to lament. As long as that command remains, nothing will solve. We'll go nowhere.
Thank you. Okay, so you're an advocate for state policing, and you think that state policing will maybe not, but I don't think with the current structure we have, I don't think it can't work. Of course it can. If we have the resolve and the discipline. We don't have it. That's the honest to God truth. Because if we don't have it, the fact that you have a central command in Abuja, this thing, we do not want a country run by persons. We want a country run by systems. So I agree that there's a lot of benefit in state policing, but even with the current situation that we have, the IG doesn't need to be present everywhere for things to work. We have a command structure down the line. It's the lack of discipline and the lack of will. IG announces, for example, all escorts to be withdrawn and so on and so forth. It's not done. It's not because it's in Abuja. It's because the people like Captain Blade would say, we don't apply the right punishment for those who do the wrong things. That's what it is. He says nobody should have. You find people, all kinds of people, visibly, 3, 4. We don't ask questions. The places where you're supposed to have a patrol, we don't see. You don't ask questions. So the truth is, there needs to be a new thinking. I agree with you that state policing would help. Don't get me wrong. But it is not an excuse for nothing working at all as it is. Because the welfare of the policeman should be systematic. It should be automated. From the day you go into the police force, we know you are going to retire, you go through so and so training, this is the uniform you need, this is what you need, your barracks. How come it is only okay, you talk about the welfare of the police. You don't have the same, you have only one navy. Go to the navy barracks and see how they live. You have only one army. Go to the army barracks and see how they live. You have only one air force. Go to the barracks and see how they live. How come the police is different? Are we going to have a state army? Are we going to have state customs, state air force? So I agree with you. There are so many benefits in state policing, but because we still have a federal structure, it doesn't mean it's not an excuse for things not. We just don't have the discipline, and the police force needs a new thinking. Constantly appointing inspector generals from the same system is not going to help. Why did this government, for example, get a retired army officer to run the customs? And look at the results. Because there's a recognition that there's a need for a new thinking. And I think we need to apply that so that somebody can put the police in place and let the systems work. The problem one of the problems we've had in this country is we always rely on persons. Therefore, you will flog that one person to death. Oh, Fashola did so well in Lagos, we give him 3 ministries. Oh, he's done so well with his 3 ministries, let's put him as president. We keep flogging instead of building up systems. I shudder to think of what Nigeria would become if we ever have a president who is away from the norm, whose thinking is away from the norm. Oh, in 4 years' time, you'll be looking at a different country entirely. If you had your own version of Trump, you'd have a complete. But even with the presence of Trump as president, it still worked. The system was still good. That is so. We need to to think about how to get our systems to work. That is not to throw away your submission, though. I agree with you. Maybe we could do better with state policing. Well, I'd like to run through a few news items that because it's not just all about police. Airpeace has taken delivery of a third brand new Embraer, whatever it is, and they seem to be growing. They seem to be growing, growing a lot of planes here. This Embraer one, I think Eric had this Embraer, and I took a flight on it when it first came. It was a beautiful aircraft. It's one time I enjoyed myself and didn't feel like coming down from the plane. But so and they also say in the story here, it says, I'm reading from the Vanguard, it also says that they're planning to commence the Lagos-London route and so on and so forth. Okay, congratulations to Airpeace. And this was said by Onyema. I wonder whatever happened to Onyema's kid, former Zambian President Kenneth Kaunda, one of the founding fathers of a free Africa. He died at the age of 97. He died at the age of 97. He was admitted to a military hospital in the capital, and he died from pneumonia. His aide said he did not have COVID-19. Now, this former Zambian president, he did not die in a London hospital. He did not die in an Israeli hospital, neither did he die in a Brazilian hospital. And corpse is not leaving London to arrive at any Muritala Mohammed airport. He died in his own country, in a military hospital. I'm sure you get the significance of that. Talking of hospitals, the story here in the Punch talks about Lagos shutting Premier Specialist Medical Center, VI, the ICU. I've shut over the chef's death. Now, you all know what happened to the late Kweju, the chef who died after undergoing a botched surgery for fibroids. So they shut and of course, the agitation that followed, rightly so. And so the authorities decided to shut the ICU. What I said this morning that I'd like to repeat is that I think I'd feel a bit safer if the authorities temporarily shut down the hospital until the thorough investigation has been carried out to make sure that at least in the at base level they have the facilities to carry out certain functions as hospitals. Because I've always said it's not about building. I've never been fooled about the fact that a hospital with the marble floor and whatever and glittering equipment translates to good medical service. No, I've never been fooled by that. Some of the best doctors you have are in the most rural areas, or some of them might not be good businessmen. They might not be in a position to set up what you would call, quote and unquote, a first class hospital. But guess what? They're the same people you find in these hospitals anyway. So back to this, I hope that that maybe the government will consider doing that. Again, family of Kweju, especially the husband, may her soul rest in peace. We are with you in this struggle to make sure that the truth, so that if for anything at all, so that we can prevent further incidents like this. If for that alone, but we are with you on that and wish you all the best. Now, I'd also like to play tribute to one of the smartest guys in town in Nigeria, Charlie Boy, and he turned 70. I'm sure most of you don't know that this man is 70. In fact, from the photographs I'm seeing, they could pass for a 40-year-old. This man fit toast 40-year-old babe, in go agree. And the Vanguard does a beautiful, warm, full-page tribute to him. And it says, Charlie Boy at 70, his unconventional lifestyle activism and beliefs. And one thing that I found, what information I found there was that this brand of Charlie Boy, his name is Charles Oputa, he's the son of the renowned Justice Oputa, that the brand Charlie Boy was created by him and his wife. And he's a good example of what branding is all about. And all his life, he's been living on his brand. But this is what the paper says, slowing down at 70. It says, one wonders if the maverick musician will ever slow down on his civil rights activism stance at 70. But it says, like an African proverb says, a woman is never old when it comes to the dance she knows. Charlie Boy has 9 children. Wow. And 16 grandchildren. He has been blessed. 9 children and 16 grandchildren. At this rate, he can go see his great-grandchildren. Amen. And he has made his indelible mark as a no-nonsense social crusader and a musician. And that he once revealed that his staying power was the strong support and understanding he enjoyed from his family over the years. It's true, his wife has always stood by him. Charlie Boy is a family man. He looks like a rare, like a street guy, but I am sure that if you go to the inner recesses of his home, you're going to find a man who is a full family man, enjoys the company of his wife and children, and they enjoy his likewise. He says, my wife and I designed a brand that will remain youthful, a brand that is meant to shock conventional Nigerians out of their ways of thinking. And he says the brand started way back in 1983, and since then it has been tenacious, consistent, and audacious in challenging what is wrong in society. Charlie Boy, happy birthday to you. I wish you all the best at 70. But I have a request. Either A or B. A is, can we have the Charlie Boy show all over again? Or B, can we have video clips put on YouTube of the Charlie Boy show that all of us enjoyed way back in the 80s? I wish you happy birthday, my friend. But I don't know when is his birthday. The Vanguard has confused me. The Vanguard says, who wrote this story? What's his name? Benjamin Njoku. Benjamin, I need to cane you. He says, his 70th birthday on Friday, June 19. So I'm now confused. Today is Friday, but today is June 18. And so June 19 is Saturday. So which one now is Charlie Boy's birthday? I honestly don't know. Which one should I choose, Zainab? Should I choose Friday, which is today, or tomorrow, which is June 19? Sorry? Tomorrow. Okay. All right. So, well, happy birthday, Yada, in advance. That's Charlie Boy for you. The man is born with controversy. But Njoku says that as he marks his 70th birthday on Friday, June 19, he beholds on the septuagenarian to learn to drop the skin of a lion and assume that of a lamb. Why? Age is just a number. Charlie Boy will still be Charlie Boy any day. Age is just a number. And being quite close to his age, I don't feel like I'm anywhere near 60. Sometimes I feel like I'm in my 40s. But of course, when you move near some people and they say, "Daddy, there you know." Then the reality hits you. Also, there is news in town, and this is for everybody to note. The EFCC has beamed the searchlight on car, jewelry dealers, real estate developers. Obviously, they are suspecting them of money laundering, but the truth is that money laundering is everywhere, even in our own industry. Everywhere you have loads of that happening. But what is also significant is that the new boss at the EFCC is the first trained EFCC chairman who has gone through the ranks. And you can see in the way he operates, without so much noise or whatever, he seems to be getting the job done. I hope he gets the full support that he would need to prosecute his job. And he says that the commission is going to prosecute Oji Uzo Kalu all over again. He's going to do that case all over again. With his recent release from the correctional center. It says, yesterday you have all reported it. We succeeded in securing the convictions of an ex-bank MD, Francis Atuchi. He was sentenced to 6 years and so on and so forth. He says the case of Amosun is ongoing. I don't think it's Governor Amosun. I think it's the Air Force man. Ibrahim Shema, Adebayo Alawakala, Ikedio Hakim, Muazu Aliu, Oji Uzo Kalu. We are going to prosecute him again, all over again. Others are Olajide Omokore, former MD International Bank, Erastus Akingbola, ex-MD NNPC, Andrew Yakubu, ex-Judge Rita Ofili Ajumogobia, Femi Thomas, ex-ED NHIS, and Babacha Lawal, former SGF. The other day I saw a story. He actually said that they've discovered 1 billion cash sitting in a civil servant's account. 1 billion. Then there's a story of somebody, a minister in the previous regime, who, it is said, female minister, had, was it $30 million or something like that, and put it out to a bank MD to buy a house for her. The corruption cycle in Nigeria is no longer embarrassing. It's almost now becoming a way of life. I mean, you ask yourself, how did this civil servant lay his hands? Well, when it says a civil servant, it means it's not of significance, maybe level 12 or something like that. How did he lay his hands on 1 billion? You ask yourself, in JAM, for example, where Professor Oloyede, is declaring large sums. You ask what has happened to the funds in the past. How do they do these things? One of the things I think we need to do is, as we are prosecuting these people, those along the chain who are involved in these things should also be prosecuted, so that it would, it will be a lesson, some kind of lesson to others. Let me take one or two more calls, and I'll be out of here. Oh, it's 9:50. I can only take one more call. Hello. Hello,
Uncle Jimmy.
Very quickly. Just go on.
Hello.
Oh God. Very quickly, go on. Otikpari. Thank you. We lost that one. I got to go. The checkers are around the corner. Tomorrow is the discourse with Jimi Disu. It comes on tomorrow on this same station at 8 o'clock. And what are we going to do? I'm not going to have a guest. You are going to be my guest. We are going to sit down now. Let's start thinking towards 2023. Let's just manage this government, whether we are for or against them. Let's just leave this and let's start looking ahead. Don't let us be caught by surprise. I repeat, don't let us be caught by surprise, because in 2023, there will be no excuses. There will be no excuses. There will be nobody coming to say, Uncle Jimmy, you are the one who told us to vote for this man. Start thinking, get involved, and let's start thinking of who we want. Even if we don't know who we want, let us start thinking of who we don't want in 2023 to narrow whatever, We have only 2 aspirants now so far. 2 people have indicated interest, one directly, the other indirectly. We might not we're not going to examine them as such, but let us now start thinking. Because it's changing governments, changing whatever, turning things around is a process. It's not an event, and it has to start from somewhere. On Nigeria Info, the discourse group, it starts from tomorrow. So 8 o'clock is that we will take all your calls as we can. We'll take your tweets. Sometimes your mouth is automated. It's like a machine. So let me rewind and erase that there are no tweets. But at least we'll take all your calls and your WhatsApp messages. I'm badly affected by this tweet matter, but that's a story for another day. I'm going to be out of here. Thank you very much, Zainab. Ekujime again. I must always say that. Yoruba people must greet you for everything. So use Ekujime. Philip, thank you very much. God bless you. I'll see you all tomorrow, 8 o'clock. Bye.
Breaking news, updates, and the best of talk.
Women have to work twice, even thrice as hard for them to get things that just come so naturally to a lot of men who feel that leadership is their right.
You were in prisons for how many years?
For 6 years, 8 months.
Were you going to court from prisons then?
Yes, but before I started court, it took me 2 years.
Just being in prison?
Yes.
Without your case even start at all?
Confinement.
You were there?
Yeah.
Here on your number one station for talk, 99.3 Nigeria Info. Let's talk.
You've waited so long, and now the doors are wide open for you to join MTN, the yellow family that's got the coverage.
99.3 Nigeria Info. We are more than just radio. Subscribe to our YouTube channel at Nigeria Info FM. Check us out on Facebook at Nigeria Info 99.3. Follow us on Twitter at Nigeria Info FM and on Instagram at Nigeria Info FM Lagos for live updates as it happens. 99.3 Nigeria Info.